Good morning, students. So today we are going to perform the green chemistry procedure for bromination of acetanilide to synthesize para-bromoacetanilide. We have already seen the instructions, what are the requirements. So you can see here 1 gram of acetanilide is weighed, which we are going to take in this conical flask, and 15 ml ethanol is ready. Then KBr 1 gram and ceric ammonium nitrate or ammonium ceric nitrate, it is one and the same thing, that is being weighed. KBr 1 gram and ceric ammonium nitrate or CAN, that is 6 grams. Also a mixture of 7.5 ml of ethanol and 7.5 ml of water is being made. Okay, so first of all we'll start with first solution, that is acetanilide. We are going to dissolve in 50 ml of ethanol. Okay, so I have just transferred 1 gram of acetanilide to the conical flask. Now I am adding 15 ml of ethanol, which is measured previously, and just swirl the flask. Make sure the acetanilide dissolves completely, because ethanol is a good solvent for acetanilide. So all of you can see the acetanilide is completely dissolved in ethanol. Now we are going to make a solution of potassium bromide and CAN in the second conical flask. So this is your potassium bromide. I'm just adding it to the conical flask. Now the moment I add ceric ammonium nitrate, you can actually see the vapors of bromine. Now this procedure we have already seen, it goes via the formation of radical bromine, and then the bromonium ion is formed. So this is the mixture of potassium bromide and CAN, that is ceric ammonium nitrate, which we have prepared. Now this solution, we are going to pour it into the first solution of acetanilide drop wise. So this is our solution 1, that is acetanilide in ethanol, and this is the solution 2, which I am going to add drop wise. Make sure you swirl the flask after each addition to make sure the contents are mixed properly. And just keep an eye when you add the solution, the KBr CAN solution to the acetanilide solution, you just see some sort of PPT that is generated. That is nothing but your para-bromoacetanilide. So definitely the reaction is happening. And also you can see after some time the color is getting discharged, right? It is becoming pale yellow. can see the compound is getting separated. Make sure you are adding slowly and swirling the flask after each addition. Now we will add the last aliquot which is remaining. Of the KBR can solution. Now the next step which is given in the procedure is, after the addition is over, stir the reaction mixture for 10 minutes at room temperature. So we will continue stirring of the reaction mixture at room temperature. Either you can just swirl the flask, or you can even use magnetic stirrer for the purpose of stirring, effective stirring. So we will just keep on swirling the flask for 10 more minutes. Swirling of the flask is continued. You can even look at the color now. It's become almost pale yellow. Getting the pale yellow or near to colorless solution itself indicates that the bromination reaction is complete. You cannot see more of bromine color. Now it's almost 10 minutes. I have kept the beaker containing ice cold water ready. So as per our procedure, we are supposed to pour the solution after mixing or swirling for 10 minutes into ice cold water while stirring. You can just see the white compound, white colored parabromoacetanilide compound is getting precipitated out. And as we are pouring more of the solution, the compound is increasing. So I'm just pouring in short aliquots. The solution has almost turned milky because of the dense PPT of parabromoacetanilide. Still I have not completed the addition, so I am going to continue doing it. The reason why we are taking the ice cold water is because we know the solubility of para-bromoacetanilide in water is very low. So obviously if we take the cold version of the solvent, the solubility is still going to be much lower. Last aliquot is added now. You can just have a look at the final solution containing para-bromoacetanilide PPT. Now we are going to filter this crude para-bromoacetanilide at the Buckner funnel using vacuum filtration. So this is our usual apparatus for filtration. This is the filtration flask. This is the rubber cork, you can say, to support the Buckner funnel. This is the funnel, and as I told you, the filter paper, it should be of the exact size of the Buckner funnel. Now what I am going to do first is I am just going to on the vacuum and just pour a little bit of solvent, that is cold water, so that it makes a tight seal with the filtration flask below. The filter paper sits well. And now on this wet filter paper, I will pour my solution which contains the crude para-bromoacetanilide. You can very well see the curdy white PPT. Of crude para-bromoacetanilide. Now when you actually take the crude weight, as I told you, obviously you will get a good quantity, but it is during the recrystallization process that most of the losses occur. But recrystallization gives us pure crystals, so we are bound to do recrystallization. Now I am just giving washing with ice cold water so that all of the compound is on the filter paper. Now we can just dry the compound well on filter paper. So put the vacuum off now, you can see. Now we'll remove this compound on a dry filter paper. So this is your crude para-bromoacetanilide. This compound you can dry well and write the crude product weight also in your journal, and then recrystallize the compound using water, hot water, and you will get the crystals of para-bromoacetanilide. Then you will calculate the percent practical yield based on the theoretical yield and equating it with the percentage. Now we have successfully used the green chemistry procedure. So it is going to be advantageous as far as the environment is concerned, because last time when we did the conventional procedure, we have used bromine, molecular bromine in presence of acetic acid, and we have seen the problem with molecular bromine is that it is definitely hazardous and toxic if it comes in contact with skin and penetrates, and also to the respiratory tract bromine is hazardous. Also the acetic acid was used as a solvent, while today we have used ethanol and water, which are definitely better solvents as compared to acetic acid. And so this is definitely a green procedure as far as the environment is concerned, and we have done the synthesis using green chemistry successfully. I hope you understood the experiment. Thank you everyone.